This is Algebra 2, Chapter 12, Section 8, in which we will be studying translations of trig graphs. Right, last time we talked about the amplitude and period of the graphs. We can also move the graphs around horizontally, vertically, or both. If we make a horizontal translation, that is, if we move left or right, they call that a phase shift. If we make a vertical translation, they didn't come up with a cute name for that, they just call it a vertical shift. Now there are four, the technical math term is parameters. There are four parameters that can change what our parent function looks like. Okay. And each one makes its own effect. So I have here your basic trig function. All right. I'm using FCT to stand for function. Any of the six functions can be here. Sine can be here, cosine can be here, all the way down to cosecant, the whole list of them. Okay. So I'm covering all of them in one shot rather than having to go through six separate things to tell you the same thing over and over. Okay. The A value we talked about last time leads to amplitude. The B value we said leads to information about the period. The C value that could be in here gives us information about the phase shift. And the D value gives us information about the vertical shift. All right, we talked about A and B last time. We'll hit those again here in a bit, I imagine, knowing me. The C value, if you see X minus C, what that's telling you is you have a phase shift C units to the right. Okay, if it's minus inside the parentheses, then it moves right. If it's plus inside the parentheses, then it moves left. And it goes the opposite direction to what you expect. When we're looking at the D value out here, things go the way we expect them to. If D is positive, then it shifts the graph upward. If D is negative, it shifts down. Okay. Let's apply these ideas. Okay. They want us to find the amplitude, the period, the phase shift, and the vertical shift for each function. So I'm going to bring back our basic function here, a function bx minus c plus d. Okay, just to have that to look at so we can point at what's a and what's b and so forth. All right. A tells us about amplitude. The a is 2. The absolute value of 2 is 2. B, clicked the wrong one. B leads us to information about the period. This is cosine, so like we talked about on the last video, the period goes with 2 pi. Okay. 2 pi divided by the b value, which is a half, gives us 4 pi. If you gave me the answer of whatever 4 times pi is, 12.56 or whatever, that would be okay too. All right. C leads us to the phase shift. We have a plus in here. And remember on the last screen we said if it's a plus, that means it shifts left that far. D tells us about the vertical shift. It's a minus 2, so that means it moves down. Let's tangle with our other one here. y equals -3 tangent 2 times x minus pi over 4 plus 6. This is tangent. Tangent doesn't have an amplitude, so it's just undefined. You could put D in E for does not exist if you wanted to, or no solution, or something to that effect, as long as you're telling me you know it doesn't have an amplitude. Don't put 0, that means something. That tells me that you're telling me about an amplitude of 0, which isn't the same thing as not having an amplitude. This thing goes up and down forever. Okay. Period we can work with. It's pi divided by the b number, so pi over 2. Remember, tangent and cotangent are pi instead of 2 pi. The c value tips us off that the phase shift is pi over 4, and since it's a minus, that means right. And then d is a plus 6, that means we move 6 up. Okay. So they're going to ask us to state this kind of information, and we'll be able to do that. They'll also ask us to make some graphs, and for that we'll use the graphing calculator like we did last time. So we'll be talking about that part of it in class, where I can use the smartboard to show you those things. Otherwise, if you had questions along the way, hopefully you wrote those down. Bring them in with you, and we'll see you in class.